Today, I'm going to go over why you need to change the transmission fluid on your Fiesta ST, or at least think about checking the fluid level. The factory spec for this transmission is 1.67 liters of fluid, which comes out to be about 56 ounces. What everybody is putting into their transmission to get to the proper fill level is 2 liters, about 67 ounces, about 11 more ounces of fluid. For some reason, the factory Ford fill spec and also what Ford put in them from the factory does not get the transmission fluid to the proper level. Anytime you do a fluid change, transmission, coolant, power steering, oil, you don't just put in what's recommended. You should always check your fluid level, correct? Right? I think we all do that, or at least you should. For this vehicle, you go down the fill plug 20 millimeters, which is about 0.78 of an inch. Some people just say 1 inch, which is a little bit more, and that is where you're supposed to hit fluid, going straight down. You will not get that with the factory fill of 1.67 liters. You probably would have to go down 1.25 inches, if not almost 1.5 inches, just to be able to hit fluid. So it's definitely low from the factory, and people have had input shaft bearing failure from these transmissions. That seems to be the most prone failure from low fluid is the input shaft bearing failing. They start getting a howl, a whine in all the gears. It gets more noisy, and the noise just keeps increasing. As the problem gets worse, they get a new transmission or warranty. Hopefully they're still under warranty, which they should. Powertrain warranty is 5 years, and these cars came out 2014 model year, so there's some people who are out of warranty. Mine's 2017, so I'm good till 2022. For example, what is now you see that little black line right there? I measured that out with a cup to 56 ounces, which should be 1.6. I'm actually a little less than that. That's because I spilt about 1/4 of a cup on the ground. Okay, right there is the 2 liter mark. That is what people are putting in. This is what they seem to be filled with. That's how much I got out, minus, of course, I did spill a little bit of fluid. This is the most recommended, by far, transmission fluid to put in this transmission. This stuff is praised. People love it. By far, the most popular fluid to put in it. If you are concerned about stuff meaning Ford spec, some people care about that type of stuff, right? This does meet the Ford spec, so you're good there. Now, if you really want to use the OEM fluid, fine, use the OEM fluid. Just put a little bit more in there than what Ford's calling for, and at least you'll be better off. This stuff is a little thicker. People say, they switch this fluid, the transmission shifts better. I don't really have any shifting issues, but people say it shifts better, less notchy. The transmission is quieter, smoother, all over, positive, positive, positive. Okay, now this is made in Germany, so instead of quarts, you get liters. 2 liters equals about 67 ounces versus 2 quart, 64 ounces. So you're getting 3 ounces more than you were getting quarts. I had a long funnel to help put the fluid in, but my funnel's tip was too big to fit in the fill plug in the transmission. So I had to use this little guy, which is typically used to fill up differentials and such. Okay, that fluid looks pretty dark. That is the factory fluid I drained out. When I was checking the fluid level on it, it didn't seem as dark on my little measuring device I made, but it drained out. It does look pretty dark. It doesn't smell bad or anything. But for this purpose of this video, I did take my air box out, which a lot of people do take the air box out to do this fluid change. Honestly, you don't need to. You could easily completely do it from the bottom, either through a little pump to fill it up, or just have a funnel kind of down and push it in the hole. But I did this just to show you where it's at. That is your little fill plug. It's an 8 millimeter Allen head, hex head, whatever you want to call it. It's 8 millimeter. Your drain plug is also an 8 millimeter, which is down towards the bottom, towards the side, the driver's side. And what you're doing is Ford wants you to take this plug out, and the fluid level you're going down at an angle, not straight back, but down at an angle. And you're supposed to go down 20 millimeters to hit fluid. Now, what people have done, I believe it's even in the Ford recommended service procedure, is people actually put fluid to it almost overflows, and then they suck out enough fluid to drop the fluid level down to the 20 millimeter level. So that's probably a good way to do it if you could get a hose and you perfectly measured it. which someone on one of the forums actually did. It was a pretty cool little device. I haven't obviously drove it yet because I got to put my airbox and stuff back in. I will put how I feel about the fluid. If I feel like, oh, make it quieter, it's just better, whatever. I'll put that in the description in the video. If y'all feel free to comment on whatever on this. I think this is good to help put this information out there. This information is, a bunch of this information is out there on the car forums. I recommend, if you're really a car guy, get on one of the car forums for the Fiesta ST. There's a ton of great information on there. I'm sure there's a bunch on Facebook too. I don't like Facebook. I try to stay away from it, so I don't have it. But this fluid level is discussed quite a bit on there. Different procedures, how to change it. There's pictures. A lot of just ton of good information out there. And this video wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for that forum. I never would have found out about this information and all the issues. But I think all of the, pretty much 99% of us have all came to a consensus that, hey, Ford did not fill this transmission properly, and you really need to do this to protect your transmission. I'm going to get this car back together, test it out, and I'll upload the video later. I hope y'all have a good day, and hopefully this helps somebody save their transmission from doom. All right, y'all have a good day.